Hey there, hello there. It's Jim Cutter down and welcome you to St. Patrick's Day and the Irish fight at the Royal Theatre in Dublin. We have 6 matches involving Irish fighters. Of course, it is St. Patrick's Day, the luck of the Irish, so we're going to talk about Ireland. We will have 6 matches for you. Some of them have actually competed in time belt matches, some have not. So we will fight through these, trying to make sure we had the same weight division, but maybe not. Start. First off, we have Conor Kelly, the heavyweight from the 1920s against the 1860s featherweight Dick Hollywood. As Jim Fitzgerald announces, Larissa Bundanaya will be your ring card girl. Generic referee, your referee, Edgardo Kudori, Joe Garcia, and Don O'Neill, your judges. Rocco Del Sesto as your ringside expert. Conor Kelly from Hull, England, went to Ireland. Was 194 pounds. In real life, he was 51, 16, and 7. And that thing. Dick Hollywood, the featherweight from County Louth, Ireland, by way of New York. 42 years old when he died, 5'4" and 110 pounds. He had only fought 2 recorded fights, and he was 47. Yeah. 2 of 10 children born. The second of 2 in Corliss, Ireland, moved to New York City. Roomkeeper, and then he had 2 fights. Okay. Well, sorry. And his one match was March 15th, TKOing Mike McTeague. So let's see what happens today.
Two, three, four. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Screw you.
One, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. One, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. The judges' votes are in, and here, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner.
That was disastrous. How did Connell Kelly not even get anything? With the punches, yeah. Dick Hollywood knocked him down 6 times, and yet Connell Kelly did not give up. Yeah, Connell Kelly 28, 27, 27, 22, 27, 27, 28, 27, 18, 27, 21, 25. No, well, he actually got the first round from Joe Garcia and the 7th round from Don O'Neill, but Codoti said no rounds for you. Whatever. Now you got Barry McGuigan, the great featherweight from the 80s, taking on the middleweight from the 1870s, Jack Burke. Michael Pass, your announcer. Josie Bloggs, your ring card girl. Jim LaBelle, George Garland, and Bobby Wells are your judges. Steve McCarthy, your ringside expert. McGuigan, the clone cyclone from Clones, Ireland, by way of Monahan. 5'6", 128 pounds, known spitting image. 32-3, the WBA featherweight champion. One time, Jack Burke, the Irish lad from Killarney, was 36. Yeah, he was 5'6" and 168 pounds. 49-24, English middleweight title in real life. He fought in Dublin and KO'd Patsy Sweeney, so he's got experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have your decision.
I don't know. Jim LaBelle scores at 115-112, while someone won unanimously. George Garland says 115-112 himself. And Bobby Wells scores about 116-112 for Benny McQuiggan. And a boy, he beats Jack Burke. I kind of liked it. He had the only knockdown. I think that's kind of why he won. Scorecards Burke, they gave him 5 rounds. They gave 7 rounds to McQuiggan overall. So 7-5. Not that bad. All right. Our third fight is Mike McTeague, the light heavyweight against the 1910s against the welterweight for the 1900s, Jimmy Gardner. Someone's got to win. Michael Buffy, your announcer. Let's get ready to rumble. I wish he did in the final. Maria Christina, your ring card girl. Manfred Kugler, John Scully, and Manuel Gonzalez, your judges. Dave Rodman, your ringside expert. Mike McTeague from County Clare, by way of New York, 5'9", 164. 109, 45, and 13 was the world light heavyweight and the Canadian middleweight champion. I didn't know that. His one fight was TKO'd by Dick Hollywood. Jimmy Gardner, 0-1 from County Clare, by way of Lowell, 5'7". 67, 14, and 23. And his match was against Billy Gardner, the Battle of the Gardners, and he got TKO'd by him. Let's see what happens.
Two, three, 4, 5, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The judges' votes are in, and here, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner.
What will Buffer say? Well, someone won the fight. Well, Mike McTeague, but unanimous decision. Okay. Both of them were knocked down. Gardner did have a cut to him, so that might be why he lost. But yeah, they said McTeague dominated the middle. Well then. All right, so 3 fights down, 3 to go. We have Willie Fitzgerald, the lightweight, taking on another lightweight from the 1890s, Patsy Sweeney. Amy Hayes, your announcer. Ekaterina Pascal's your ring card girl. Bill Page, Pierre Benoit, and Larry Duckett, your judges. Mark Elwood City, your ringside expert. Willie Fitzgerald, the Fighting Harp, as they call him. 1881 1928, from Waterford to New York, 5'8 and 135 pounds today. 98, 25, and 29. Patsy Sweeney from Ireland, from Galway by way of Manchester, New Hampshire, 5'7", 133. People call him 51 and 57 wins. He lost to Jack Burke by KO last time. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. The judges' votes are in, and here, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner.
Wow. That's the first non decision. Wow. That was quick. No, too quick. Anyway, here's the co-main event. Tom Sharkey, the heavyweight from the 1890s, against the super middleweight from the 1990s, Steve Collins. Billy Jordan, your announcer. Eileen Podolsky, your ring card girl. Freddie Ledesma, Takake Kenyatta, and Eugene Grant, your judges. Lee McRae, your ringside expert. Tom Sharkey, 0-1. Sailor Thomas, they call him, about 80 years old, from Dundalk, 5'8", 185 pounds. 47 and 5. Beat some great guys. He beat Kid McCoy, James Corbett, Bob Fitzsimmons, Australian Billy Smith, and Sailor Charles Brown. He tried to fight Jeffries for the title but lost. He lost by middle decision to Jack Dempsey NP. Well, they have to make it because was a Jack Dempsey in America. And Steve Collins, well, he's the Celtic Warrior, 1964, from Dublin, 6 foot and 158 pounds, 36 and 3, the WBL super middleweight and middleweight champion, who tied George Gardner by majority draw, which was weird, but We'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have your decision.
Fast, but Collins TKOs him in the 5th round. What a job. Nope. Yeah, the punch is thrown by Collins. I know 4 rounds, but yeah. Collins won on Ledesma's card. Kenyatta and Grant would have had it tied. So yeah. And one more fight. We have Jack Dempsey NP. Non-parallel as we call him. Middleweight against the middleweight George Gardner. ADA versus the 1890s. Amy Hayes, your announcer. Nikki Singh, your ring card girl. Rodolfo Hill, Admiral Pokrat, and Jose Colbion, your judges. Lee McRae, your ringside expert. So NP, the non-imperial, 1862 to 1895. He was only 35, 3 when he died, from Curran by way of Brooklyn. Biography, 46, 3 and 10. He was the middleweight champion of the world. And he beat Tom Sharkey by majority decision. Last time in double it. George Gardner. From County Clare by way of Chicago. 5'11", 154. 45, 12 and 7. He did beat some decent fighters. And he tied Steve Collins. Let's see what happens this time.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. The judges' votes are in, and here, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner.
So Gardner wins. So yeah, 3 decisions and 3 KOs. Punches, 1 knockdown by Gardner. The scorecards were, yeah, NB was winning by 5 on Hills and by 3 on the others. So yeah, Dempsey being Burner. So yeah, so we had 3 decisions and then 3 knockouts. 3 guys on the red corner and 3 on the blue corner getting their stuff. So that's who wins. And that's all we're going. So luck of the Irish to you all. I'm Jeff Diamond.